Having a plugin which allows you to take Figma designs to actual coded apps in one click is the holy grail. And I've tried so many tools and plugins that promise that they can do this, but none of them have really worked that well. Until now. This new plugin from Webflow has allowed me to get from these designs to this real functioning website with just the press of a button. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's go. Hey, I'm Parvin. I'm a design educator who teaches people how to get better at using Figma. If you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. And while you're there, check the description to get a copy of the file I'm working on. Now, I've been aware of Webflow for absolutely years, but I never got round to learning how it all works after I first tried it out. I coded my own personal website, mostly as a torturous exercise in seeing what I could create without relying on any frameworks. So I know how properties like Flexbox and CSS Grid work reasonably well, but to be completely honest, when I tried out Webflow, the editor intimidated me. It felt like there was so much going on, the way you assign classes and IDs to divs and made things responsive for different breakpoints. None of that felt super intuitive to me. So I stuck to writing websites just in code. And then I moved away from writing code and I discovered what UX design was. And I went all in on learning and teaching Figma. But I always kept an eye on no-code tools, especially as plugin development for Figma boomed. There were so many different startups promising one-click plugins that would allow you to convert your designs in Figma into a real app. I've tried a few of these and I'm skeptical that any of them work as well as they say they do. But this Figma to Webflow plugin is made officially by the Webflow Labs team. It's in beta, so they know it's not perfect yet. But having just watched the tutorial, I'm completely blown away. I think this could be so revolutionary for designers. It means you could design something in Figma, something really high fidelity, really polished, and then without having to rely on a developer, turn that design into production code. Now I know there's loads of designers who already do this using Webflow. Ransigal from Flux Academy has a great set of videos and courses showing you how to rebuild a Figma design in Webflow without needing to write any code. But although Webflow is a no-code tool, it's still quite technical, and I know it can be intimidating if you're more used to Figma's free-form canvas. But if you're already using Figma to the fullest of its capabilities, and by this I mean specifically if you're already comfortable using auto layout and using it everywhere in your designs, given how close auto layout is to Flexbox, then I think moving a design over to Webflow with this new plugin is a no-brainer. It'll be really easy to do and you'll get your designs into real production code. So in the rest of this video, I'm going to show you how quick it is to take a website design and turn it into a production website in Webflow. So I've just got a blank Figma file here and I'm going to open up the Webflow Figma plugin. You might have to log in and connect it to your Webflow account, but once you've got that, it's very simple to just click here and start dropping in layouts onto your page. And by using these pre-built Webflow layouts, you can see a very well-organized auto layout structure. And when we send this to Webflow, it's going to already support responsive breakpoints, and it will very, very quickly allow us to throw a site together. So I'm just going to add on a nav bar, a hero section, this logos block, maybe the team rectangles one, I think this testimonial column, and then a footer. And I should say the idea here, which I'm going for, is to make up a fictional garden design company, which makes fancy gardens for people. I quite like gardening, so that's my idea. So now we've got all of these sections dropped onto the page. I'm just going to grab all of them and do Shift A, which groups them in an auto layout frame. And what I'm going to do now is just do a bit of adjusting. So the hero is set to hug, but I actually think that should be a lot bigger. We'll centrally align the block inside of that, just get rid of the background on that little container, and then add an image for the background of this whole hero section. A lot of this content I'm going to be making up or grabbing stock images from royalty-free websites, but I think it's important not to use any lorem ipsum anywhere. As I've said in a previous video, when you use lorem ipsum, you don't really think about what content is going in different places, but I will try and write some dummy content. So just using the Unsplash plugin, I'm going to search for some pretty garden photos and just start adding these to our design. So now I've got some images in, I'm just going to take a look at the navbar. And while I'm up here, I should really rename the whole frame to be homepage. For the company logo, I'm just going to get rid of that and write in the name of a fictional garden designer who will base this website around and just adjust the type. So we've got a nice simple logo. And then for our website links, just adjust this a little bit. As you can see here, I'm not worrying too much about type styles because I'm working on a project which doesn't have type style set up. But obviously, if I was and I had all my type styles and color styles set up, it would make this process a lot easier and it would help it be a lot more consistent. Here I'm just using the default things the Webflow plugin gave us. So here for this hero text, I'm going to type in something like paradise behind your home and give it a bit of a interesting kind of thick, quirky serif. Maybe bump that size up a bit and just wrap the line and tighten it up. And we'll give that a shadow as well. And then actually just make it slightly less bold. And I think even bigger as well. So you can see we're really powering through. I'm just going to update some of the copy. So I spent some time filling this out. I've just added an extra little hero section down here with a Meet Penelope. Apologies if your name is Penelope Moss and you're watching this. So we've got a very quick website, quite a standard layout, which you'd see on lots of websites, but it looks very clean, very professional, and it's taken us a couple of minutes to throw together. So now using the Webflow plugin, all I have to do is click on homepage and see where it says select an auto layout frame to copy. You can copy just frames, so just sections like these, or you can copy an entire page. So we just click on the homepage frame and choose the Webflow website which we want to connect it to. Garden website YouTube is what I've called this one. And then press copy to Webflow. It will take some time to prepare the assets, still waiting. And then there we are, copy to clipboard. So now if I just go into Webflow, open up that website, and this is the really magical bit. The way to paste this in is just with Command V. So if I click on my body tag up here, Command V, it has told me that it's gotten rid of some of my custom fonts and it's renamed some classes to avoid some conflicts. But there we have it, our design in Figma with the photos and the copy and the structure of the auto layout. You can see all of the labels of those auto layout frames has come through exactly as we had it. So we're missing one big hero image, and because I used a custom font which I hadn't loaded in Webflow, that hasn't worked. But I'm just going to spend a bit of time tidying this up and you'll see it is a fully functioning Webflow website. So I've updated the fonts. I hadn't realized that you do need a paid Webflow account, which I don't currently have because I just wanted to try this out. So I've updated the fonts. With Webflow, you can add in any Google font, but to connect it to your Adobe account, which is what I use for premium fonts, you do need a paid Webflow account, and I just wanted to get this video up. One thing which I had realized is that it put the box shadow on the text box. So you can see down under box shadows, it's put on box shadow effects, which has given us this kind of ugly border. And what you need to make sure to do is to put the shadow over here in typography under more type options, text shadows. Apart from that small bug and the hero image not coming through, it's basically copied it exactly as we had it in Figma. So scrolling down, you can see it looks like this. And if I jump back to Figma, we can see it looks very, very similar. Pretty amazing that with just a couple of clicks, we can get the whole thing into Webflow. And of course, the best thing about this is when we look up here with our responsive sizes, you can see that the design is automatically set up to respond. Now, obviously, we might want to go through and change some of this, maybe have our testimonials be swipeable, so stacking side by side, and maybe have these client logos not take up so much space. But all the way down to mobile, it just works out of the box. Our menu even has worked, and we've got a menu button, so our navigation bar automatically appears. And yeah, you can see it's very, very quick. Just going to go ahead and press publish, and that's it. Publish successfully. I can go and check out this link. And as I said, it's not a paid Webflow plan, so the domain it's giving me is a .webflow.io website. But you can see this is a live website that I threw together in Figma literally minutes ago, and it's already on the web. So I'll leave a link to this in the description so you can click through to it and see for yourself that it is really up there, and also a link to that Figma project. But you just need to get the Figma to Webflow plugin and you'll be making production websites just with the click of a button. Now, if you found this intro to the Figma to Webflow plugin useful, stay tuned. On this channel, I'm going to be showing you how to design and develop a real website for a real client. I'm going to take you through the whole process. We'll start with brainstorming and ideation, and then we'll look at creating high fidelity designs in Figma, and then lastly, we'll look at turning those designs into a real life website super quickly using this plugin. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful and you want to help me out, please hit the like button below to help more people find it. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one.